Welcome to this video. This video we are going to see a representation of graph with incidence matrix and adjacency matrix. So with the help of incidence matrix and adjacency matrix, we can store these graphs in computer memory. So let us see the first method, that is incidence matrix. So let us consider undirected graph. So this graph has four vertices and some edges. So how we can represent this graph using incidence matrix? So incidence matrix is a matrix with n by e size. N is your number of vertices and e is your edges. So vertices I should take in row. So I have four vertices, so a, b, c and d, and the edges are x, y, z, p, q and r. So this matrix we need to fill up with values. So you can have values either 1 or 0 or 2. Now when to take 1, 0 and 2. So let us see. Now go edge by edge. So first edge is x. Now you can see the graph. This edge x is connecting the vertices A and B. So this edge is connecting vertices A and B. So in the row of A and B, I'll write 1, the row of A and B and the column of X. Okay. So and rest of the places I'll fill the 0. Fine. Now let's go for the next stage, that is Y. So Y is the edge connecting the vertices B and C. So in the row of B and C, I'll write 1. Rest of the row I'll write 0. Go to the next edge, that is Z. Z is the edge connecting vertices C and D. C and D, I'll write 1. Rest I'll write 0. Next stage, that is P. P is the edge connecting vertices A and D. So A and D, I'll write 1. Rest places I'll write 0. Next stage, that is Q. So Q is the edge connecting vertices A and C. A and C, I'll write 1. Rest I'll write 0. Now R is the self loop at the vertex A. So we know self loop is counted as two edges in case of undirected graph. So I'll write two value in the row of 1 and 0 and rest of the rows. So this way you can represent undirected graph using incidence matrix. Now what are some observations that we can make? So if you look at the every column, we have two ones, and in the column of edge R we have value as 2. So if you sum in every column, you will get value as 2. If you sum in the y column, you will have 1 plus 1 2. Sum in the x column, you have 2. Sum in the last column of edge R, you will have 2. So sum of every column is always 2 in case of incidence matrix of undirected graph. Now if you sum the values in the row, so if you sum values of row A or vertex A, you will have value 5. Now what this value 5 indicates? So 5 is the degree of vertex A if you look at the graph. If you sum row B, you will get value as 2, and 2 is the degree of vertex B. So if you sum the row, you will have the degree of the vertex, and if you sum the column, you will have always value as 2. Now let us see incidence matrix for directed graph. So consider this directed graph. So incidence matrix for directed graph is also a matrix of size n by e, that is vertices by edges. So you have four vertices A, B, C and D, and you have seven edges x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6 and x7. Now this matrix we need to fill up with the values. So we can have values either plus 1 or minus 1 or 0. Now when to write plus 1, when to write minus 1, and when to write 0. So whenever edge is incoming at the vertex, we should write the value as minus 1. Whenever edge is outgoing from the vertex, we'll write value as plus 1. Rest of the cases will write value as 0. So consider the first stage, that is x1. So if you look at the x1 edge, this is the edge which connects the vertices A and B. So immediately I'll write 1 in the row of A and B, rest I'll write 0. Okay, now when whether it is plus 1 or minus 1, we need to check. If you look at the edge x1, x1 is incoming for the vertex A, so I should write minus 1 in the row of A, and edge x1 is outgoing for vertex B, hence plus 1 in the row of B. Now go to the next stage, that is x2. So x2 is the edge connecting vertices B and C. B and C, rest it is 0. Now where minus 1, where plus 1, x2 is incoming for vertex B, so minus 1 in the row of B and plus 1 in the row of C. Next stage, that is x3. x3 is the edge connects vertices C and D. C and D, rest will write 0. Now x3 is the edge incoming at vertex C, so minus for C plus for D. Next stage, that is x4. x4 is the edge connects vertices A and D. A and D, rest I'll write 0. And x4 is the edge which is incoming at vertex D, so minus for D and plus for A. Next is edge, that is x5. x5 is the edge connects vertices C and A, or A and C. A and C, rest 0. And x5 is a edge which is incoming at vertex A, so minus for A plus for C. Next stage, that is x6. x6 is the edge connects vertices B and D. B and D, rest will write 0. Then x6 is incoming at vertex B, so minus for B plus for D. And the last stage, that is x7, is the edge connects the vertices A and D. A and D, rest 0. And it is the edge which is incoming at vertex A, so minus for A and plus for D. Only the disadvantage is incidence matrix we can't write for directed graph with the self loop. So that is a point to remember. Now second method is adjacency matrix. So let us have the first case for undirected graph. So let us consider the graph G, for which I need to write or represent this graph using adjacency matrix. So adjacency matrix is a matrix of size n by n, that is vertices by vertices. So in this graph G, I have 5 vertices A, B, C, D, and E. So I'll write A, B, C, D, and E, matrix of size n by n. So in column also I have vertices only A, B, C, D, and E. Now this matrix will fill with the values. So you can have value either 1 or 0. As this is adjacency matrix, means we need to check whether vertex is adjacent or not. Now if you look at the graph G, there is no self loop, means vertex is not adjacent to itself, and hence in column or we can say in diagonal, you will have all zeros, meaning is A is not adjacent to A and hence value 0 here. Okay, now rest of the matrix we need to fill up. Now if you look at the vertex A, so A is adjacent to B, so I'll write 1. A is adjacent to C, I'll write 1. A is adjacent to D, I'll write 1. A is not adjacent to E, as there is no direct edge between A and E, hence I'll write 0. Now go for vertex B. B is adjacent to A in case of undirected graph, if there is edge connecting the vertices, then we should consider this edge from A to B as well as from B to A. Then next, B is also adjacent to C. B is not adjacent to D as there is no direct edge between B and D, and B is also not adjacent to E. Next, vertex C. C is adjacent to A. C is also adjacent to B. C is also adjacent to D and E. The next, vertex D. D is adjacent to A. D is not adjacent to B. D is adjacent to C, and D is adjacent to E. Last, E. E is not adjacent to A. E is not adjacent to B. E is adjacent to C. E is adjacent to D. Now let us have last case, that is adjacency matrix for the directed graph. Consider G and a directed graph. So adjacency matrix is always a matrix of size n by n. So n is number of vertices. So this matrix becomes 4 by 4 as we have 4 vertices in the given graph. So vertices are v1, v2, v3 and v4. v1, v2, v3 and v4. So in case of directed graph, so direction is important. So v1 is adjacent to v2, but v2 is not adjacent to v1 as direction is from v1 to v2. So this matrix also fill up with the values either 1 or 0. So let us write the values for vertex v1 or row of v1. So v1 is, if you look at the graph, v1 is adjacent to v2. So in fact v1 is adjacent to v2, hence 1 here, and v1 is not adjacent to any other vertices in the graph, and hence we'll write 0 in remaining places of row of v1. If you go to the row of v2, so if you look at the graph, v2 is adjacent to v4 and v3 as direction is from v2 to v3 and v2 to v4. v2 to v3 1 and v2 to v4 1, rest you have 0. Then v3, if you look at the graph, v3 there is edge from v3 to v4, v3 to v4, meaning is v3 is adjacent to only v4 and no edge from v3 to v1 or v2 or v3, hence 0 0. Now if you look at the v4 vertex, from v4 vertex direction of edge is from v4 to v3, means v4 is adjacent to v3, so v4 is adjacent to only v3 and rest of the places is 0.